with all the excitement with the new bows, there's additional excitement with the new guns that I and us are all getting, which is pretty sweet.
Well, this is your first gun, right?
First ever. Yep.
First firearm.
Yeah, just like a kid on Christmas.
Our sponsor,
That's pretty cool.
Weatherby, who makes just high quality guns, and they've had that prestigious name for so long, and it's such a family business. Good Christian people that are really, really, really focused on making the best ammunition and the best guns in the market, and we're honored to work with them. And we've had nothing but good luck with them. And AJ, they have a new. Well, I guess it's about 1.5 2 years old line of shotguns called the Element, which is their mid-level shotgun. And AJ is going to be getting a 12-gauge Element in tungsten, which is their tungsten model. So the barrel is gray, the action's gray, and then the stocks are black. And it is sweet, man.
Oh, yeah.
It looks awesome.
No home invasion at my house.
That's
Darn
right. That's right. This is your first gun, period. So what are you most excited to do with it? Clays, ducks.
Clays.
Yeah.
Clays.
Yeah. We can open them up to the world of sporting clays too.
Which for a first gun, especially with you being like a homeowner and everything, that is probably the best gun to have. A shotgun is the best for home protection because that darn scattergun's not going to go through the walls and shoot someone next door in the next room over. But it'll mess up the person in front of you.
Yep.
And on top of it, this is a hunting gun, so you can do whatever you want with this.
Right.
And 12 gauge is great.
Yeah, I mean, you can shoot clays. You can upland hunt for birds. You can waterfowl hunt for birds. You could turkey hunt with it. You could squirrel hunt with it. You can, pretty much anything. It's rabbits. It's pretty cool for small game, for birds, for waterfowl. It's you shoot geese with it. I mean, it's a sweet rig. So
versatile.
I'm not to mention like you're just getting into it, but you don't realize like you're getting like getting a Weatherby shotgun's like getting the Ferrari of guns.
Yeah.
That like people will be like, oh, okay, well,
you got that one.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
You know?
What was your first gun?
My first gun was a Weatherby SA08, which is so it's kind of an interesting. I think they still make it. They still have that model SA08. Probably not the one I had back in the day, but that one there was a. It had 2 different springs in it. So if it was if you were shooting like clays and stuff, you'd put the lighter spring in it for like the lighter action rounds, and then you'd put the stiffer one in for the heavier action ones like duck loads and stuff like that. And it was I've had nothing but good luck. I mean, as a kid, that was a great gun to kick around with, and that was Scott had the same shotgun, so that's what I got into.
The first gun I ever used.
My dad was more of a rifleman. He didn't shoot clays and stuff. So my dad was a precision shooter with rifles, and that's what he taught me to be. So it was like shotguns were like an afterthought. So it wasn't like my first.
Right.
I had 4 rifles before I had 1 shotgun.
The first gun that I really got to use hunting, and like when I was younger, my dad trying to get me into upland bird hunting. What he started me on was, I don't even know how old this gun is. It's probably older than the 1950s.
Okay.
It's old. It's a single shot break action, and it's got a hammer, 410.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's a 410 shotgun. And the idea being the load isn't super big. The gun isn't super heavy. So it's perfect for a younger kid to use. And on top of that, it's considered, like, as far as its ranking goes, it's considered an expert gun. So you learn to be super, super accurate with it. Because there's no way around it. If you want to hit it, you got to be dead on because you got like 10 BBs in that thing.
Right.
And that's it.
You either hit it or you don't.
Right. So thankfully, that's what he started me on. And I do pretty good now as far as shooting goes.
Oh, you're a great. I mean, as far as clay shooting goes, Ryan's top notch. And I in training and learning this, Weatherby makes a compact shotgun. And their compact series, they make a couple of them, but the compact series they have one that is like, I think it has like a blue camo pattern on it too. It's pretty cool for kids, but they have good kid shotguns, and we got one for our friend of the family, Brady, and it was his first shotgun. It was a 20 gauge, and the 20 gauges now with the Weatherby with the semi-autos, there's zero kick, and I mean zero kick. And that kid was able to get his first wood duck with it. He was able to get his first birds with it.
That's cool.
And I like now, with kind of going with that idea of like that 410 or 28 gauge, you know, the things that people started out with as the best first gun. I would say now that is probably the best first gun to get for that same lesson of like, you know, something light, something that doesn't kick a lot, something that you can focus on being good with, but yet like extremely deadly. You know, you know, you got no problem killing ducks or turkeys or something like that.
Which, for us, with all the upland, we do woodcock and grouse hunting. That's primarily what my family did, and all of our friends that we would go up with. It was woodcock and grouse. Had dogs for it and everything. We didn't use 12 gauges for woodcock and grouse. It's such close quarters when you're hunting woodcock and grouse that you don't really need that big of a load, and the birds are small enough that if you connect on a woodcock even with a 20 gauge, you're blowing that sucker up.
Yeah.
So with a 12 gauge, there's not going to be much left.
Right.
And I've seen it before with a 20 gauge where that dog retrieves that bird and you're like, what is this?
Right.
So
it's tough too.
Both have their positions as far as handiness.
There's a lot of variables in that though with grouse and that, because I know we're gonna get eaten alive on some things. A lot of variables of like what choke you use, the distance of the bird, the anticipation of what you think the bird will be distance-wise based on the cover you're hunting, to which choke tube you use. So there's like variables where 20 would be the best option. There's, you know, and Weatherby's coming out with a new over and under 20 gauge Orion. That's the new one coming out, and we just had one of those.
What was it?
It's Orion. It's a 20 gauge over and under.
Okay.
Or Orion, I guess.
Orion.
I've only ever read the word. But it could be.
Well, it was named
Orion.
after me. So.
Oh, Orion. I get it. No, like the belt. Orion's but Men in Black reference for anyone who didn't catch it. But that gun looks sick. So I'm pretty pumped about that to get to use that. Over and unders are for a quick shooting. Those are great. The other thing, over and unders are good learning guns too, because you know, they're simple in their mechanics, right? So you crack it open, put the shells in, open it up after you shoot, and they pop out. It's easy to tell if it's loaded. You can break it open for added safety. You know, you can see that nothing could happen because it's broken.
That's a good point. That is nice that when you are out shooting clays on the range, you know whether someone's guns could be hot or not.
Oh, really?
Well,
really?
If it's a break action, if it's open, it's not going to go off. It's open. It's essentially a safety.
Right. Yeah. I found that interesting, but I am excited about the bows from PSE, and I'm really excited about the guns from Weatherby. Check them out. Weatherby is actually starting to get caught up on their backlog of orders right now. So you're starting to see them at stores again. Obviously, with the administration change, a lot of people ran out and bought guns fast.
Yeah.
And then
with good reason.
Yeah, and then on top of that, COVID coming in and everyone wanting to get into shooting sports because it was something you could actually do. Mixed with all that demand, and you know, things got pretty interesting, but they're starting to get guns back in stock. People are starting to be able to get them again.
Ammo's coming back.
Yep, they've got some new releases. There's going to be some new guns that come out besides the ones that I mentioned.
They look really cool.
That look really awesome, that you should be excited about, so check that out.